Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Africa Podcast News Show. I'm mikeymushi, and I'm joined with Wongel.
Zelalem.
Thank you for joining us. This is our third episode where we just talk about the happenings of the week when it comes to African news, where we give our opinions as people who love Africa, Pan-Africanists, people who cover African news, and we'll discuss through this topic. So as we wait for other people to join, thank you for joining Tunacheki. We really appreciate all our members, subscribers, and we are almost reaching 1 million subscribers. We are 10,000 subscribers away. So as promised, we will do our live stream, and we'll celebrate together when we reach 10,000. Maybe if Wongel has any messages for you guys.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we have some juicy stories for you this week. And I want to also announce, I have one announcement. I've already started last week. So I have a new show on Swahili Nation. You can find it on YouTube. We talk about, Africa as always. It's just a recap of what happened in Africa. I do that, and you can go subscribe and watch. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my own channel, Zelalem.
Great. So feel free to share this stream with friends and family. Make sure to comment, give us your opinion, what you'd like us to talk about that happened during this week, and we'll try our best to talk about it. We've also started inviting channel members. So if you're a channel member, either for my channel or Wongel's channel, we will allow you to join us if you have a burning question that you need to personally ask us. If not, you can always leave your comment in the comment section, in the chat section, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so I think people have started to join. This podcast is for our Tunasikia platform. Our Tunasikia platform is our podcast platform. It's Tunacheki's podcast platform, where we share all the great content that we produce here at Tunacheki, but in an audio version. We will be available in all our podcast streaming session together with the Tunasikia YouTube channel. Please make sure to subscribe, and also on Tunacheki. So we'll be having so many different podcast shows where we'll be doing very many things. So make sure to also subscribe to that, and this is just the beginning of what we have in store for you when it comes to the podcast, podcast and Tunacheki. So Tunasikia means we are listening in Swahili. So yeah, there we go. You can watch and you can also listen. Okay, without further ado,
I also want to say, Africa First asked us, is that Wongel? Yes, it is Wongel. Just wanted to clarify. Yeah, you're saying?
You can start us off.
Yeah. Okay. You want me to start? Where do we want to start? Do we want to start from outside of Africa, but regarding Africa, or we start from Africa?
Just outside Africa. Let's see what the diaspora have to do. Yeah.
Okay. So the hot topic of the whole month, actually 2 months, is the Ukraine-Russian war, and Putin has been making it to the headlines quite a bit because of the things that he's saying, and old videos are resurfacing and all that. So now, allegedly, there is a report that says that he said this, and I quote, "If I was president at the time NATO invaded Libya, Gaddafi would still be alive." I thought it was interesting, and I thought it's worth talking about. Some people were saying, who cares about what he thinks? Or some people were saying they don't believe that he said that. But for me, I don't find it hard that he said it. I also don't find it hard to believe that he might have fought for Gaddafi to leave back then when, NATO was targeting Gaddafi, and they were killing him. Putin, even though he was not president then, he was outspoken. He was talking about it a lot, and he said that he does not agree with the way they handle things, and he was very clear on how they were wrong to do that, and if they wanted to make an example out of him, or tell him not to do what he was doing, they could have just taken him to court, and there was no reason for them to kill him. And obviously we can agree Gaddafi might not have been the perfect leader, but he definitely did a lot for Africa, did a lot for Libya. So we do care about his legacy, and we do care about people that want to continue what he started. So I thought it was interesting. What are your thoughts about that, about what Putin said?
So for me, like when it comes to Russia and African relation, like I always wonder why the West always want us to be against Russia, because Russia never colonized us, Russia never enslaved us, Russia never stole from us, right? So all these NATO guys and the United States wanting us to be enemies of Russia, wanting us to hate Putin. Putin has done nothing to us. So why would your enemy, just because we are friends with you, why would you want us to be enemies with your enemy? No, your enemy can also be your friend. So there's even we did a Nelson Mandela speech when he was released, like in prison. So they were asking him why he's supporting Fidel Castro, why he's supporting Palestine, and why he's supporting Yasser Arafat, right? So he just says, just because those people are your enemies, it doesn't make them our enemies. And with Putin, it's that same way, because Putin has never been adversarial towards Africa. So even if he was in power during the NATO thing, he would have protected Gaddafi, because everybody in the West wanted Gaddafi out. And as you said, like Gaddafi wasn't a perfect leader, but in this world, even if somebody is a murderer, even if somebody is a rapist, he's just not killed like that. He has to go through court, right? So Gaddafi was executed, right, with no court proceedings, no trial, no witnesses. He couldn't defend himself. So regardless of who Gaddafi was, for those naysayers, they say Gaddafi was bad for Libya. If you think Gaddafi was bad for Libya, look at Libya now, right? You can't travel in Libya, no matter who you are, right? So like my opinion is, just because the West hate Putin, just because NATO hates Putin, just because Ukrainians hate Putin, it shouldn't mean Africans should hate Putin. We can be friends with Putin, we can be like just cool with Putin, right? But like just to hate him, it doesn't mean we must hate him. So that's my point for.
And the most annoying thing for me, at least personally, and you tell me your takeaway, is the fact that they talk to us like children, as in, we said so you should be able to take our side. Like, who are you? Why do you feel comfortable to tell African countries that they should have strong opinion against Russia? Who are you? Like, that's what gets to me even more, because in this day and age, they still have that mentality of, you're our slaves, like we are the colonizers. They show it like with their actions. So, but I gotta say though, I'm so proud of our African leaders this time around. At least most of them were going neutral, right? With the UN Security Council. So that's, I feel like, a big step for African leaders. Usually they're afraid of losing their aid, or like they are afraid of a sanction. So they, it's like walking on eggshells. But now the fact that they even took a step to be neutral makes me feel like we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. Even now, how can I say? People have started being a bit brave right now. You can challenge the powers that be without wondering if you'll be removed from power or you'll be executed, right? Which brings us to our next story, that Compaore, the former president of Burkina Faso, was sentenced to life in prison in absentia for the murder of Thomas Sankara, right? Thomas Sankara is one, like when I say, I don't think even one, Thomas Sankara is the greatest African leader that has ever been. He was so great, they had to kill him only 4 years to his power, right? He threatened the West so much, right, that the CIA tried to kill him, Belgium tried to kill him, eventually succeeding. So the sad part about this story for Sankara and Compaore is that Compaore was Sankara's best friend, like actual best friends, not that hey, they used to be in government together. They were best friends, like they're like best friends, like his family, they have dinner, they were best friends completely. So can you imagine how much evil you must have to corrupt somebody to kill his fellow brothers, right? Which has always been the problem when it comes to these coups and assassinations, right? Because the West always want their hands to be clean, so they always use somebody like in the country, like Gaddafi, right?
Yeah.
He was murdered, but it's not somebody, not a white person with a NATO gun who shot him, right? They just use the people to kill your own brother, which is even way, like for me, I think that's way sad and way worrying than you actually having your own mind and just killing somebody, but being manipulated to do that, right? So Campore is in still exile, right? But as soon as he touches Burkina Faso, I'm sure they'll arrest him, because this trial has been a long time coming. So Compaoré was president for Burkina Faso after the deaths of Sankara for decades. And even if you talk that, hey, Sankara was assassinated, that could get you life in prison or killed. But now, since he was removed by popular revolution, a popular coup, people have always wanted justice, right? Belgium with the CIA brutally, sorry, not Belgium, France and the CIA brutally worked together to kill Thomas Sankara. And I watched this video that how the United States is always so worried about like when Africans have good leadership. Talking about Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Kwame Nkrumah. It's the CIA that made sure all those people were either removed from power through coups and or brutally assassinated by their own people. And this is because the United States is in the process of taking care of its people, and prosperous Africa, proud Africa, stable Africa is not good for their business. They need the wars, they need the corruption, they need the dictators they make to be able to steal from us, right? So that has been their process, and they're still continuing. But now, at least, as I said, things are getting better, right? Now we have justice for Thomas Sankara, and now I wish they go a bit further. Then they say it's Compaoré who actually killed him, but who were responsible, who ordered the hit list. So they go back to the French government. They see who in the French government, who in the CIA, who okay this one, like how Rwanda did when they were investigating the genocide, right? They arrested the local Rwandans who did it, the ones who escaped in Europe. They're still following some of them, but they also made France agree, say, hey, we were complicit in this one, right? Because it's actually technically France that organized the whole, I must say, according to my opinion, or allegedly, it's France that organized the whole Rwanda genocide by giving the opposition, like the other side, the machetes and the weapons, because they were all imported through the help of officials in France, right? So yeah, so I wish they go further, like Rwanda, and make France say, "We are sorry we killed Thomas Sankara," and yeah, I think that's a good start.
Yeah, I hope that happens. I don't know how likely that's going to happen, but who knows, if the people really push through and the government is serious about giving Thomas Sankara the justice he deserves, maybe that's going to happen. And I am completely with you, because this guy was just a puppet, right? At the end of the day, the people that were making the moves behind the scenes are more powerful, are likely going to do it again. They probably have done it more times than we know. about. So
Yes.
I'm glad. Yeah.
To add on that, we have a list of, go to Tunacheki, you can find it now, top 10 African leaders assassinated by Western countries. And the list we had, I think, 17 in total,
Wow.
right? With this assassination. Those ones are just like the famous ones, right? Yeah. So it's been a problem for decades. And if you're from DR Congo, if you're from a country like Sierra Leone, if you're from Rwanda and you had civil wars, deaths, and destruction, it was mostly caused by the West. These Western countries trying to manipulate people, causing destruction in their country.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, you have to go through it yourself, or your country has to go through it itself for you to really understand the degree and the depth of how evil they are. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I always knew this, but like it hit more when it happened to Ethiopia. Like, I was like, wait, when what they tried to do the past year and a half or 2 years with the Western media and the propaganda and all that stuff that was going on, when you see, when you hear from, let's say, Burkina Faso side, you were not living there, you were not on the ground, so you are only hearing it from them. You're not experiencing it yourself. It's different when you experience it. It hits you, and it gives you that just that passion to make sure that it doesn't happen to other people. Like, I'm just being honest. Now I'm more determined to expose them, right? So yeah, I agree with you on that one. And going back to, you pointed out that Compaore was his best friend, and he's like, eventually, even if they ordered the killing, he did it. What's sad is that they're best friends. One, the betrayal, but secondly, it shows you how Africa is where we are right now because of our own people complying and saying okay to their demands. Imagine all those times that they had to convince or work with someone on the ground. I'm sure it would have been harder for them to do what they're doing. I know they'll do their best to make sure that the job is done, they're assassinated or whatever. But imagine having someone around you that really cares about the country as much as you care for the country. Imagine having those ministers and advisors that really want to see their country become a better country and get out of the Western influence and leave a better country for their kids. I can give you an example. Madagascar wasn't the guy just facing like assassination and they were caught? Yeah. So why do you think he was able to survive? Because the people around them, when the alarm went off, they're like, wait a minute, and they protected their man. I'm sure the president wouldn't have done it. I'm sure his intelligence helped. I'm sure the people around him helped save his life, right? The Haitian, if we leave Africa and talk about the Haitian assassination that just happened last year, what do all these things have in common? His advisor was part of it. Like, people around you are the ones giving them the way to make it, easier for them to do whatever they want to do. So that goes back to us, ourselves, and reflecting, and how easily can we be swayed? Because for this guy, for example, for Compaore, I'm sure it was power. His motivation was power. He's like, okay, if I remove him, then, I will be the one with power. I'll have all this money and all that, but not thinking about the future of the people that he's supposed to serve. So I think working on our people's minds is also really important, because all human beings can be short-sighted. Okay, it's not just them. Greed makes it worse, granted, but all of us tend to really want what will come really quickly right now, or like fast. But if we, reveal or like open the next generation's eyes for them, and show them that yes, you can be rich now. They can give you pennies, they can give you millions, they can do all these things for you, and they can give you power. But what does it look like in the long term? Are you willing? Are you okay with all that devastation, all that poverty, all that corruption? Just you being the sole reason of why this is happening to your country. So I would hope that some people might say, okay, in the long run, this is not worth it, and I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to be a sellout. I guess that's what we can do and hope for, because the pattern is the same for me. Almost all of them that were assassinated, or an attempt assassination, happens with someone close to them okaying it and working with them. So that's a big issue that I think we need to address before even talking about the West and their agenda.
Fitzroy has a question. Is like, what is Africa going to do going forward in dealing with well-armed outsiders who want her resources and are not prepared to pay for it? So technically, every Western country. For that these days, I think with the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, things are a bit harder for them to just blindly steal from us, but they do steal from us. So with that's a very hard question that I'll go through it, and maybe I'll give you an answer at a later date. But it's quite a good question.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, but I also believe in. I don't think it's a direct answer for what the question, but I also believe that as the whole continent, Africa, when we're part of the world, and we have to have relationships with other continents, other nations, So I do believe in when we're going forward, we move wisely, as in, like, if Russia is willing to back us and support us in UN Security Council, if China is supporting us, I'm not saying we become their slaves, or we are like, okay, we want to be on your side, but think about or draft contracts that will be win-win for both of us. You get, now we're in this situation because our leaders are okay selling us out, are okay signing off all our rights and taking aid, knowing that the interest will be overwhelming and stuff like that, right? So at the very least, building relationships that will help us, not just the other party. Until now, I feel like all our relationships depend on them looting from us, taking from us, and as very few of our leaders getting money into their pockets and being okay with the injustice that is going on, tax evading, the stealing. They're okay with it because the very few people in the leadership role are okay with taking the little they're taking, and just the hell with the rest of the country people. So if we can at least navigate through. Now, I think a good example is right now with the Russian-Ukraine situation, the fact that African nations decided to be neutral makes me think this is strategical as well, because Russia has been there for them, and they hope that in the future Russia can help out. This can be like you scratch my back, I scratch my back. I don't think there's any problem with getting a fair deal as we're selling our natural resources. At the end of the day, we keep saying natural resources. Yes, within Africa, we trade with each other. I'm sure we need to export even outside of the continent to get more money, right? Like, that's how trading works. So what we're fighting for is to get a fair deal. And when you get a fair deal, more money comes in, you can allocate budget to military, to defend your country, to make sure that you have the right connections. So I think it's not directly an answer to your question, but I feel like our leaders, if they're going to move in a way where it's going to help us while dealing with other nations, I think that's the start.
Yeah, definitely. You can even add India to that group. There's a new generation of world powers that are cropping up, and I believe it's Russia, Brazil, India, China, and Africa as a whole. So things are switching up. Maybe we can go to the next story.
Okay.
It's from on your side.
From my side, okay. So next, I would like us to continue talking about the current situation in Ukraine, Russia, and I'm trying to open. Yeah. So I thought, yeah. So I'm not finding it, but it's okay. I can tell you from here. Okay. So I wanted us to talk about Peace Corps, and on their website, the warning that they have given to Black people, specifically African American people. And they said that, okay, for those of you who want to volunteer and go help Ukrainians, just be aware that you might be called the N-word and they might call you monkeys because that's their culture and tradition. You might even see kids wearing blackface. So if that's going to bother you, don't come. But if you're okay with that, come. And I read this and I didn't know if I want to laugh or just get pissed and I saw a funny tweet. I need to mention that I saw a funny tweet. The person that tweeted this Peace Corps article said, so you want us Black people to come and help Ukrainians when they are afraid of us, when they hate us, when they're racist towards us. Who do you think we are, the X-Men? And I laughed so hard because yeah, are we like in a movie? You think we're just gonna be like, hey, even though we're heroes, and you guys hate us, we're still gonna save your lives?
Something you don't know, like the X-Men. It was written by Jack Kirby. He based it on the Civil Rights War, where Magneto was Malcolm X and Martin Luther King was
You're lying.
Yeah, like he based it on that. One wanted freedom through dialogue, that's Professor X, and the other one wanted freedom through like violence, that was like by force. That was
I really did not know that.
Yeah, like it was based on that, and how the mutant gene, how the other humans hated it without understanding. Like mutants were like it was just like the analogy of that. So it's technically
wow.
right. Yeah,
like I love it because I didn't even know the background. So I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Who do we think we are? So yeah, so that like literally Peace Corps had to come out and say that. I believe it's because they wanted to protect themselves. If they don't clarify this and put it up, and then Black people go there and face racism, it's gonna look bad on them. But now at least they can say, you can't sue us, you can't say anything because we've already told you what's about to happen. So life is just interesting for Black people, isn't it? Like you want to volunteer and help someone, and you might still be called the N-word.
Yeah. But like even once they're being called the N-word, like because in Ukraine and those some of those European countries, they're extremely violent, right? Yeah, so you can go there to help a poor person, but that poor person is racist and kills you. So it's only Africans who are just good enough. Like this, we're too good for. I think we're too good for this world. Where even if somebody hates you, even if somebody is exploiting you, you're still kind to them. You still show them the humanity. So maybe
that's not serving us, unfortunately.
And even after reading those things, I'm sure there are many African Americans who've gone to Ukraine to help out, right? Because sometimes our humanity outweighs danger, right? So like if you like even when like if you see most Africans, right? Like they're brutalized, they're abused, but they still don't show. They still don't fight back through violent means. They try to be like, hey guys, hey, let's all be civil here. Let's right? But no, it's not always. So maybe I think it's part of our culture. And then one thing, racism, and I've said this so much. Racism is part of the European culture. People are just seeing it in Ukraine, but in all European countries, racism is ingrained, right? So it's just a fact of life. People there are racist, right? Yeah. So if anybody watches this channel, if anybody watches your channel, don't be surprised that people in Ukraine are racist. Don't be surprised that Ukraine has a huge Nazi party that support Nazism and all the ideologies of Nazism, right? Let them be surprised. That's who they want to protect. So that's like, I think that's what I can tell people. Don't be surprised that these things happen, because it's part of their culture, the hate and the racism.
Yeah, but even though we're saying like don't be surprised, we also don't want to stop talking about it. Not to the point where it's all that we talk about, but I think it's important to educate our people. And the only way you can educate your people is by having a dialogue and talking about it. Because I also see sometimes people commenting like, so they're racist. We already know. What else is new? Why are we talking about this? And I'm like, okay, you know, good for you. But how about the thousands and thousands of African youth that don't know, that might want to travel to those countries and risk their lives? Like, we need to be okay with addressing things the way they are and talking about them. So I just wanted to add that to your point, that some people like to, you know, downplay it and say, oh, we already know. So we need to still talk about it. That's at least my opinion on it.
Yeah, and also for me, I think people shouldn't be complaining about it, because it's like, you should know, you should be responsible enough to know like what you're gonna get, right? So don't go there and be like, what? I was helping these people and they abused me. So you should always go there ready to know your stand, right? Don't like, the thing I'm saying is, nobody should act like a victim, because you already know, right? You get. So if somebody is being racist towards you, you should have the strength to fight for your rights. Don't be like a victim, like,
yeah, I get your point, Mike, but with that still being said, you know, as a human being, when it happens to you, you're allowed to feel what you're feeling. I get what you're saying. I get it. And you should be aware at this point, and you should educate yourself. And even if after you knew, like, I can give you an example. I already know, and I'm pretty sure, like, if I meet racism face to face, like, as in the actual person really calling me the N-word and making it clear that I'm down here because I'm Black and they're up there, I can't promise you that I won't be offended. I can't say that I'll be like, I already know they're racist. I'll still feel something. I'm a human being. So if that happens to you, I think it's okay to talk about it and expose it, because your experience could help someone else.
Yeah, definitely. It's also a personality thing, because like, I think for me, they would regret. They'd be like, wow.
What would you do?
Yeah, like they would. So like, it's maybe how we, because there's so many racist people who come to Tunacheki and comment something smart, and that would be the last of the never comment here. So so like, I think and with every bully, right? If you stand up to a bully, that's when they stop bullying you, right? So I would encourage people, like, next time, you know, like as you said, for the X-Men, the two analogies, right? There's Professor X and there's Magneto, right? So sometimes I always think a balance would work. By being too passive and too reconciliatory, like, never works all the time, and be like, violence never works the whole time. So we should, you know, find a balancing ground where you can still assert yourself, right, proudly, right, but still like, explain to them why it's bad, and they shouldn't do it.
Well, let's hope it works.
But I'm sure many African Americans have more experience. You know, fortunately for us, we are in Africa, so racism isn't a common thing. But I'm sure for African Americans, it's daily occurrence.
Probably South Africans. They have the same experience. South Africa. Also, pretty much apartheid.
And also South African. So maybe if you're from South Africa or the diaspora or these Caribbean islands, you can give us your experience on, or maybe you can let us know how you deal with racism on the daily basis, right? because I'm sure it's exhausting after a while, right? You
Yeah.
can't always be angry all the time, or scared,
Yeah.
yeah. So let's continue with the discussion topic. So we'll continue talking about still the Ukraine-Russia war and Africans who are involved in it. So the United Nations this week called out the EU because of the unfair treatment of how they treat African refugees and how they're treating Ukrainian refugees. Ukrainian refugees are getting free Airbnbs. They're being lifted to America, like in being integrated in the society, right? Well, there are still Cameroonian refugees who are still in detention camps since last year, but one. There's still Haitian refugees, yeah, who are whipped, who are being whipped. They're still in detention, right? There's still like the Mexican migrants who are being held in cages, like it's a concentration camp or something, right? And they're still in cages. So there's this double standard, and the double standard, I wonder why they call it double standard, because it's racism. They're treating Ukrainians that way because they're white. That's the only reason they're treating them like that. And it goes to show the type of world that we live in, and which I'd tell everybody to know these things, right? We are in a white supremacy world, even if they want to say it's democracy, it's capitalism, that's just white supremacy, painted, given nice coats of paint and renamed, right? So don't be surprised when these things just keep happening, right? Yeah. So when it come, I'll continue until Wongel joins back. So as I said, the United Nations has called out the EU to just be better, because many migrants died at sea this week. I think only 10 survived. If I can remember, I think it was a boat of 90 or 100 that was in the Mediterranean. So they treat African refugees, migrants like a disease, while they just welcome Europeans, the Ukrainian refugees, with as if they've had no problems with refugees. So it just matters what type of refugee that you are. So we can continue with the other topics. So also this week we did a story on the Sudan peace process, where not the Sudan, South Sudan, where they decided to combine their armies, right? And it's quite good that this process is actually going forward. South Sudan has come a long way from fighting for the independence from Sudan, and again fighting a civil war that was actually just caused by these other foreign entities. And so we are always happy when peace is being built, when countries are, African countries are moving forward. Let's see. Also, another story we did this week, there's this Tanzanian who came up with his own electric car. He launched his own electric car, which would always encourage this kind of innovation when it comes to developing a new Africa. Yeah. So as we wait for Wongel to join back, let's see. Tony Lee, thank you for the $5 super chat. We really appreciate you. So let's continue. Let's continue. Also, this week, because of the hello.
Hi, I'm back. Sorry, technical difficulties.
No worries. So we're also talking about this week what President Uhuru Kenyatta did. So because of the Ukraine war and the sanctions that the US has given to Ukraine, our oil suppliers are actually selling the oil that would have been going to Africa to Europe, right? So we are not having as much oil as we want. So in Kenya, we had the oil crisis, which I personally experienced it. Yesterday, I was in town and I wanted to just fuel my car. It was a huge line. The line was so long, it almost took me the whole day just to get fuel. And because of this, our president Uhuru Kenyatta gave an emergency fund of 300 million dollars, and to try to mitigate this disaster. So as always, when there's this saying that when two bulls fight, it's the grass that hurts. So, and then there's also the same saying that Tanzania's president Nyerere also said, also when two bulls make love, it's still the grass that suffers. So when it comes to Africa, if the Western countries like NATO is fighting with the Russians, Africa will still suffer. If Europeans and Americans are friends and coordinating together, they make peace, Africans will still suffer. So regardless of the situation, we are still suffering. And now we are suffering because of the lack of fuel, and So at least our president did something. So we are talking about how Uhuru Kenyatta tried to fix the fuel crisis that's currently happening in Kenya.
Okay.
So for you, did you see the fuel crisis? Is
Yes.
transport high? Did you wait in line for 6 hours just to get to fuel your car?
Yeah, definitely. There was a long queue. Most fuel stations didn't have it. And the ones that did have it, you had to wait for like 10-15 cars before you to fuel first. And there was also like a limitation, a maximum of how much you can fuel. So I definitely saw it. And I thought it was interesting though, didn't they come out like the officials and say that they don't know why this is happening because there's enough gas?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, they
like
did
I
on
did.
the radio. I heard, I don't know if it's the oil distributors or whatever. I don't know what they're called, like the people that are in charge of the petroleum in the country, the gas in the country, and they were saying there's no shortage. I don't know why there's a shortage. So I thought that was incredibly suspicious.
So somebody's taking advantage of the situation, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because it has to be like that. So so we can continue on your side.
Oh, okay. This technology. Okay, so we can, since we're already talking about Kenya, right? We can go ahead and talk about Frank Murugi.
Mm-hmm. Like I think she's gone down again. So we'll wait till she comes back to talk about the story that she covered. Let's see. In the meantime, we also did this speech by Angelique Kidjo, who is a world-renowned musician, where she was saying that how Western aid is killing Africa. So I would recommend you guys to go and watch that speech. It was a Candid Africa. Let me see. Also, in other news, South Africa has ended its COVID restriction, and also this week, Ghana announced they are doing another year of return. So this is quite good because it's good to show African Americans, people in the Caribbean, that they are always welcome back in Africa. And the other year of return really helped, first of all, the Ghanaian economy, and it also helped change the image of Africa that most African Americans have been falsely fed by Western media. So when it comes to this year of return, I would recommend people to visit Ghana, because Ghana is quite easy to visit. They make it so easy, especially if you are African American. So if you missed out in the first year of return, there's another one that they've just announced, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be Afrochella. There'll be many events building up to this. There are many historical sites you can go see in Ghana as an African American, and most African Americans came from that specific part of Africa, the Nigeria, Ghana. So technically, you'll be actually going back home when you go visit Ghana. So let's see what the people in the comments are saying in the meantime. So okay.
I'm back.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
I don't know, you can
Right.
tell me, the technical person. He keeps saying my device is overheating and just shuts down. So
Ah,
I'm attempting without the background, maybe, if that's what is causing it. So I can go back to what I was
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
Where
sure.
did you lose me? I apologize.
Yeah. No, you're just introducing the Kenyan story.
Yes, okay, so you heard me a little. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was talking about Frank Murugi. You'll tell us more about him and how your meetup was. I'm kidding, but I know you told me you saw him face to face. I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there. So he's a Kenyan-based TikTok star, but actually, in actuality, like, he is a Belgian drug lord. He was just exposed. I'll admit it. I was scrolling on TikTok before I even knew about the story. I saw him on my TikTok feed. I don't know, for some reason TikTok pushes his videos to me. I don't know if it's like everybody that but it pushed him to me. And I remember seeing him and I thought it was weird because the video that was pushed for me to watch was him and that little girl, Kenyan little girl. And I was like, this looks unnatural. And it was, I wish that we could show them the picture. The guy is so big, bold,
Yeah.
tattoos, just gigantic, Belgian, white guy. And the little girl is like in her early 20s, I think 21. He's 40 something. And he's just, I don't know, playing around with her like a toy. And it was just so creepy. And I remember reading the comment sections, and Kenyans were saying how they fear for her and how they think that he's abusing her and all that stuff. So yeah, even now that my phone is telling me it's overheating, if I go off, I'm sorry, I'm just
I
saying it in
know.
advance. Yeah, so basically this guy was a big deal on TikTok, especially in Kenya, because that was his fan base, and he had over 1 million followers. And so people thought he was just a famous TikTok star because he always posts, he's very consistent, and people watched his videos. And then now he's being exposed for being a drug lord, and he's a fugitive. He ran away from his country, Belgium, because he is wanted like for a crime that he has committed. Now he is back in Belgium, I believe, and his case is being seen. But let me tell you what he did to this little girl. She was supposed to be his wife. He literally did not care what happens to her. Even the house that they used.
While I'll try showing you what she's talking about. So this is the guy that she's talking about, and this is the content that TikTok pushes towards us, right? So this kind of imagery. So this is the guy who's the drug dealer. Just with the, oops, have I liked it? Sorry. What's going on? Okay, let me go up here. Yeah. So this is the content that we're talking about. Yeah, so there's this culture of old white Europeans, foreigners coming to mostly Kenyans, the coastal region, and exploiting little girls, some even under 18 girls. And it's time we should stop. We should stop this behavior of letting this type of people exploit our young girls and sisters and yeah. So I hope he goes to jail. I hope he stays in Belgium. He's more than welcome to stay in Belgium, right? Yeah. So on another note, we can continue with with another story. So also this week, a Nigerian court in Kano sentenced an atheist to prison for 24 years, right? And because like I think Kano is in northern Nigeria and it's a very Islamic state. Kamite, I think the girl is 21 now, but you never know when at what age they met, right? Yeah. So like I'm talking about the Nigerian story that they sentenced an atheist to 24 years, and something with Africa. These religions are not ours, so if we let people be free to be whichever religion. If you don't believe in any religion, yeah, let it's okay. If you want to be a Christian, it's okay. If you want to be a Muslim, it's okay. If you want to be spiritual, it's okay. If you want to follow your traditional African religion, it's okay. Let's not force anybody to be what they're not or to do what they don't. When it comes to this religion, like this Nigerian court is sentencing a man to 24 years for just being an atheist. You can be whatever you want, right? That's very un-African. Doing this Sharia laws. It's like what Europeans and Muslims used to do during the Crusades, where like if you don't follow their religion, you're killed, or the Spanish Inquisitions, that kind of stuff. I say it's an African. Let anybody worship and let anybody be who they are, right? We're not a captive state that we are tied to our religion. Yeah. So we're talking about. So I showed people their TikTok.
You did? Which one?
So at least now they've got an idea of what you're talking about. So currently we're talking about this Nigerian court that sentenced this man to 24 years in jail for being an atheist, right? So it's in Kano, northern Nigeria. So because northern Nigeria is very it's highly Muslim, Islamic. So I was just telling them that Africa, it's not our culture to force people to believe in what they want to believe, right? It's not like the Inquisition, where if you're not a Christian, you are killed. It's not like during the Crusades, if you're Muslim or if you're a Christian, you are killed. Africans should, if you want to become a Christian, it's okay. If you want to become a Muslim, it's okay. If you want to become spiritual, it's okay. If you want to follow your traditional African beliefs, it's okay. But the point where courts and governments are forcing you to believe a certain religion by force, that's when now I have a problem. And I say it's definitely not African because it's never been part of our culture. Everybody has the freedom to believe in what they want to believe in.
I agree with that.
You can. Do you want to pick up that story? Because we didn't. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got cut off once again. So I'm still here. You're still. Right? Okay. Okay. So basically, he was arrested and he is following up and he's waiting for his sentence. And eventually, when he went, he kicked her out of their house in Mombasa, and he told his fellow Belgian to house sit for him, and now she's homeless, basically. So this girl literally left her family, and I think she had a boyfriend. She left him to be with this guy, and he ruined her life basically, because now her name is involved. She's only 21, and her name is involved in this nasty case of a drug lord, money laundering, and all this criminal stuff. And then secondly, she's scarred. She thought she had a husband, I'm assuming, right? When you're living with someone, and then now he leaves you, and he even kicks you out from the house that you shared, and now you're homeless and you have to go back to your family. And after this, actually, she opened up and she said something interesting. When they would live together, when he leaves the house, he would always lock the kitchen and the bedroom and leave. So she can't eat or do anything when he leaves. So he was a cruel human being. And on that note, my phone is telling me it's overheating. If I go out, you finish it without me. This is too much.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
but was finishing. We have try removing it from desktop side. Desktop.
I did. I think I did. That's what I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it happens. Technology is not perfect.
Yeah, no worries. So let's see our final story. Let's do the final story. Then let's see what else is remaining.
There's one. I'm afraid to start it in case
Yeah. So she's gone. Yeah. Let's maybe finish up. So I want to say thank you guys for joining our weekly Africa podcast news show, where we talk about just what happened in Africa, where we give you our opinions, and where we get to chat with you guys. So let me go through the questions. Why is saying it's very well known in Europe that older people, not just men, go to Asia, South America, and Africa for sex tourism. Yeah, sex tourism is a huge problem even here, and it makes jokes about it. So it's just a continuation of exploitation. So once you exploit people's resources, next you're going to start exploiting the people, and for them it's okay. Mohammed is wishing us a good morning. Good morning to you. And Jerry Larry is saying all European men always go to third world countries. So let me tell you something about these people, third world countries and first world country. The last time I checked, we have one planet. It's called Earth. It's not three. So this kind of Western mentality for I'm in the first world, I'm in the third world. I know so many people. Who in Kenya, my neighborhood, in Africa, live way the majority of people in the United States. So this whole concept of if you're in America, you're rich. If you're in Africa, you're poor. It's such a Western construction, it's such a Western mentality. It's Western propaganda, right? So I would suggest all Tunacheki people never to use that word first world or third world. It's such a Western colonial imperialist term. So with that said, Susan is wishing us thank you so much. She's learned a lot. Kermit, when it comes to these things, these technologies are not ours. So until the day where we can make our own platforms for this, I think we'll just have to use what we are given. So Wongel, I'm just telling everybody goodbye. So maybe if you have any announcements, you can.
Okay, fam. Anyways, I hope you learn persistence from me. You don't know how many times I've been switching off and on this phone. So I do not have an announcement. Okay, if you can call it an announcement, go check out my channel, and if you like what you see there, subscribe, and hopefully next time I come to you with better technology. That's what I have to say.
Okay, so thank you for joining this week. Last week we did our Africa Leadership Series marathon stream. It was for 13 hours. So many of you joined us. I think 15,000 people watched it live, and I really appreciate it. It was fun. This week we'll also do our Candid Africa live stream. So it will start tomorrow at 8. No. It starts tomorrow at 7:30. So make sure to join and see what we have to bring. These things are fun. We talk, we discuss, we debate, and we get to learn new things. So as again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And we'll check you out in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you. Make sure to come back at the same time, same day. Bye.
And remember, Africa is watching.
Stay blessed.